Ross, we're a few sessions in now over in Spain. How pleased are you with the progress so far?
Yeah, the lads have been incredible. We're using this week to not to try and mentally break a few, but to learn a lot about the characters in situations where they are going to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning doing hill runs and getting them in the gym, and then we have a breather and go again. The lads are responding to it really well, keeping really upbeat, really positive, demanding a lot from each other. So yeah, really chuffed.
You were just speaking off camera about sharing each other's air, breathing each other's air. That's really the philosophy you're trying to instill, isn't it, in terms of lifting each other when they've got very little left in the tank?
Yeah, I think as staff over a period of time, you end up bringing your own philosophies to fruition by certain analogies and certain comments and certain phrases that you use. And one thing that I always say is give your air to your mate. In times like this, where it's hard enough to get a breath in this heat as it is anyway, but especially with the drills that the gaffer and Richie and Hammy are doing with them, it's hard, and you do need to take that little bit of a breather between each drill. The difficulty is your mate's then going to be working at the same time you're recovering. Can you give him your air that you need and give him the energy that he needs to get through the next part of the drill? You know, we can give him as much food, water, energy gels and everything else like that, but psychologically when it becomes so hard for him to do it, the thing that gets you through is your mate. So yeah, can you give your air to your mate? That's the phrase we're using quite a lot this week.
It becomes a test of character in a lot of ways, doesn't it, these kind of trips, especially in this heat?
Yeah, look, I've never been in the military, but we learn quite a lot from the military phrases, and stripping people back, putting them back to brick is what we're trying to do this week, because when you put people under hard work and give them mental tests as well as physical tests, you start to see true characters coming through, and we want to try and ensure that those characters that we're bringing into the season with us are ones that are going to be demanding, relentless, enthusiastic, positive and encouraging to the rest of the team. So yeah, it's really, really hard this week, and we're making sure that we're putting players under the right amount of pressure, but just to try and learn a little bit more about them.
Pre-season on a whole is where, you know, the fitness department comes into their own really. How much do you relish that challenge?
Yeah, the lads always give the performance team a bit of a stick, because they always say it's the best part of your season really, isn't it? You turn up for 4 weeks and then you go back into hiding again for the rest of the year, but we love it because it does give us a lot more ownership. We tie in really well with the coaching staff. Obviously my relationship with the coaching staff goes back years, and I think the biggest thing that we're looking for really is alignment with our philosophies. We understand what hard work looks like, and hard work is subjective. It can be offensive to some people or it can be an opportunity for others. And we always look at it as an opportunity to get more out of players. How can we push performances physically? How can we push performances psychologically? And yeah, it's a great time for us, but also for the coaching staff, because we share that philosophy.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on your relationship with the coaching staff. How closely do you work in devising fitness plans and football plans and how they intertwine?
I think when you look at the actual programme itself, and when you look at the detail that goes into sets and reps and this thing, it is not particularly. We just try and look at it from developing mindset. We're quite diverse in terms of our mindsets, with what Richie and the manager are like and what Hammy's like, and then myself, but equally our alignment is we understand what is required to get the team to play in the way that they want to play. So we make sure that the programmes are reflective in that, in terms of what it looks like, not necessarily with how it's prescribed. If players can see that and the optics of it are quite powerful, then yeah, we know that we're getting the right response that we need.
Paul Warren's spoken previously to us about building a collective here as well, rather than, you know, just training, just making it about football. You've been around that before, so I'm sure you've seen firsthand how effective that can be.
Yeah, when we do the player meetings in the evening and we get staff and players to talk to the group around what's important to them, what's their why, what's their motivation, why they're here, and what's important to them in their life, what that image looks like. When we see those images of players' families or previous careers or mums and dads or people that have been really important to them throughout their lives, we take away the tag of a football and we look about the human being. And you know, the gaffer always talks about being good human beings, and again, this is what this trip's all about: stripping people back physically, but also looking at what motivates them. It allows us to have deeper conversations. It allows us to probably find that little bit of extra motivation deep down within your gut to get players through sessions when they have a why, they have a reason behind what they're doing. And this is something that's really important to us when we look at that, like you say, that collective around. We're not just physically trying to improve players here, but we're also trying to strip each other back and form that team.